It's Saturday the 2nd of September and welcome to our Saturday evening news programme coming to you live from the heart of Wyke, Regis. And in the news this week, the cattle have been washed and blow dried, sheep trimmed, pigs have been prepared, giant vegetables are being put into place, cakes baked, tractors polished, thousands of metres of marquees have popped up, and everything was ready for the Dorchester show to start this morning when the gates were opened. It's Dorset's biggest rural celebration, the Dorset County Show. This year looks to be jam-packed with a host of exciting new attractions as well as a new layout to help make the visitor experience even more enjoyable. New attractions this weekend include the world's largest monster trucks revving in with spectacular car-crushing stunts. There's also the Dorset Axemen, who will be thrilling crowds with their fast and furious wood-cutting demonstrations in the new woodland area. Mounted Pony Club games and Shetland pony racing feature for the first time in the new Hilltop Ring. In the new Heavy Horse Village, visitors will be treated to demonstrations enjoying a chance to get up close with the beautiful Shire horses. If heritage crafts are your interest, you won't want to miss the new Crafters Avenue featuring displays of weaving, hurdling and more from Dorset's finest craftspeople. A huge new food and drink area will boost the best of British with a particular focus on Dorset produce. You won't go hungry, there's plenty of new picnic areas and pit stops plus live music and a fun fair. So visitors have been there today, and of course the Dorset County Show will be open again tomorrow. Tickets are available now only on the gate, and if you're going to the show, follow the showground signs as you approach Dorchester. Parking is free, but there is a fee for entry to the show, and it looks like the weather is going to be good tomorrow for anybody who's going to the show tomorrow, and it looks like they've had a reasonably good day today as well. Now, the second phase of planned repair work to Weymouth Town Bridge starts in late September. In 2022, Dorset Council carried out repairs to welds on the surface of half of the bridge, and this autumn the other half will receive the same repairs. The welds attach the steel deck plates under the road surface to the bridge beams. Once inspected, defective welds will be milled out and re-welded. This will prevent water seeping through the deck to the beams, which would otherwise cause damage and affect the operation of the bridge. The work is due to start on Monday the 25th of September and is scheduled to run right through to the end of November and finish on Thursday the 30th of November. Tents will be erected over the work area to ensure that work can continue should the weather become poor. And at the end of the work, the deck will be blasted clean and then resurfaced. Now, during the work, diversions will be in place. The bridge will be closed to vehicles 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and signed diversions will route road traffic. Pedestrians will be okay, and pedestrian access will be kept on one side of the bridge throughout the works. To assist heavy goods vehicles making local deliveries, a one-way system will be in place overnight from 6 p.m. to 9 a.m. Delivery vehicles will be directed south into the town along St Thomas Street and north out of town along St Mary Street. Councillor Ray Bryan, portfolio holder for Highway, said Travel and Environment said the bridge has over 2,700 welds attaching the steel deck plates to the bridge beams, and last year the team replaced 267 on one half of the bridge. Once they've surveyed the welds on the second half, they will carry out repairs to protect this vital lifting bridge for many more years to come. It's a complex process protecting the historic bridge while maintaining it for modern day traffic, but one that our skilled team carry out carefully and efficiently. I thank everyone for their patience while this work is completed. So the town bridge will continue to operate for harbour users with scheduled lifts Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and a single leaf lift at midday. Mariners are asked to book bridge lifts by 4 p.m. the day before with the Weymouth Harbour office either by telephone or on VHF channel 12. And it's intended that weekend bridge lifts will return to the normal routine, but they may be required to work on Saturday, so mariners are advised to check ahead of the weekend. There you go. So that will cause a bit of disruption, but it's necessary work that has to be done to keep the bridge there on the harbour working for the future. Now, very sadly, the search on Monday for a diver who had gone missing off Portland Bill was called off after the body of a man believed to be in his 40s from Hampshire was found in the water, and he was pronounced dead. A spokesman for Dorset Police said his next of kin had been informed and the coroner has been notified. The Coast Guard had been assisted in the search for the diver by Weymouth lifeboat approximately 2 nautical miles south-east of Portland Bill, and in addition to Weymouth's Ernest and Mabel, lifeboats from Exmouth and Swanage also took part in the search, as well as the Coast Guard helicopter and other local vessels. Also, officers searching for a missing man, Daniel Matthews in Weymouth, had sadly found a body. At approximately 9:35 a.m. on Thursday the 31st of August, the body of a man was located at Castle Cove Beach. Dorset Police would like to thank everyone who assisted with the searches, and their thoughts are with Daniel's family and loved ones at this extremely difficult time. Now, staying with police and other services, a free security marking event for harbour users will take place on the Westway Road pontoon on Friday, September the 15th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m, and a second session will be held at Nothe Quay pontoon on the same day, that's Friday, September the 15th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. The security marking event is organised by the Marine Unit from Dorset Police, the Weymouth Harbour Master and Marine Watch. As well as the security marking, those that attend will have the opportunity of getting updated on marine security matters and the opportunity to join the Harbour Watch scheme. Now, also another event to do with safety that the police are involved in. Older drivers will have the opportunity to attend an event at St Aldham's Church Centre on how to stay safe on the road. The session will be run by Dorset Police and assisted by the Fire Service, paramedics and Age UK. A police spokesman said mature motorists have a wealth of experience, confidence and tolerance on the roads. However, sometimes quality of vision and hearing can reduce over time. The session is aimed at older drivers and their loved ones who wish to find out how they can stay safe on the roads. Now, if you're interested in attending that and booking a place, if you go onto Google and search for Older Drivers Event Weymouth and put in Eventbrite, that's the booking system, then you will find it. Older Drivers Event Weymouth, Eventbrite. You'll get all the information and you'll be able to book a place. Now, yesterday, Dorset Council remembered Merchant Navy veterans by holding a flag raising ceremony at County Hall in Dorchester at 10 a.m. It was Merchant Navy Day, and this acknowledges the brave men and women of the Merchant Navy who in both World Wars kept our island nation afloat and in peacetime continue to face the routine perils of violent storms and mountainous seas. The event was hosted by Councillor Val Pothecary and attended by Mr Angus Campbell, the Lord Lieutenant of Dorset, Mr Colin Weston, MBE JP, the High Sheriff of Dorset, Councillor Spencer Flower, the leader of Dorset Council, as well as Royal Naval Association members and Weymouth Sea Cadets. The Reverend John Yarian opened the ceremony with prayer and followed by speeches by the Chairman of Dorset Council, the Lord Lieutenant and Mr Paul Knapp from the Merchant Navy Association. Now, around £1 million is expected to be spent strengthening a section of harbour wall in Weymouth. The project will work on the wall in front of the former North Quay offices of Weymouth and Portland Borough Council. Dorset Council has been advised that the repair and strengthening for a 235 metre section will be less costly than a complete rebuild and should extend the life of the wall for well over 30 years. Part of the work is also likely to include a raising of the height of the sea wall with anticipated higher sea levels predicted for 35 to 40 years' time. The estimated cost has been put at £800,000 excluding VAT. Dorset Council says it intends to keep costs down by using the Hanson Company, as they will also be responsible for the demolition of the former Weymouth and Portland Borough Council offices opposite. A report that goes to Dorset Council Cabinet meeting this week states, utilising the services of one contractor for both the North Quay demolition work and the wall repair and strengthening work simultaneously will not only save time and cost but will also be less disruptive to the public. Councillors are being asked to give approval that some of the work to the masonry can start as soon as possible, either on a temporary or permanent basis, as a depression which has appeared in the footpath indicates that film material behind the wall has loosened or been flushed away. A report says the wall is at or near the end of its useful life, although many of the sections are still capable of being repaired or strengthened. Its condition is better than some other harbour wall areas, mainly because it is some way from the direct action of the sea or the berthing of large vessels. Some sections of the wall show clear signs of cracks, with plants growing in some areas, further weakening the structure. Now, if approved, the main works are expected to be undertaken within the next 3 years. Police are appealing for help from members of the public. First, for witnesses to come forward following a burglary at a shop in Dorchester. Dorset Police was called at around 1:05 a.m. on Monday the 28th of August to a report of a burglary at Gould's fashion store in South Street. A quantity of perfume was stolen during the incident. The offender is described as approximately 5 feet 4 inches tall and was wearing a hooded top with a logo on the left arm, cuffed jogging bottom with zipped pockets, Crocs with socks and a covering over their nose and mouth. Police Constable Abby Snelling of West Dorset Police said, "I am carrying out inquiries into this incident and I'm keen to speak to anyone who saw what happened." Officers are also investigating a public order incident in Weymouth and are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to get in touch. Dorset Police received a report at 2:25 a.m. on Thursday the 24th of August that an aggressive man was refusing to leave McDonald's in the Jubilee Retail Park. It is reported that the man was verbally abusive to staff members and made threats towards them, as well as shouting homophobic abuse. The subject is described as white, aged in his mid-20s, 6 feet tall and of slim build with short, dark hair. And finally, police officers investigating alleged criminal damage in Weymouth are appealing for anyone with information to come forward. Dorset Police received a report at 3:15 a.m. on Wednesday the 30th of August that a man was kicking cars on the Esplanade. Damage was caused to 3 vehicles that were parked in the area. Officers attended and a 20-year-old local man was arrested on suspicion of criminal damage. He has been released under investigation while inquiries continue. Now, if you are a witness to any of those events, if you know anything about them, you have any camera footage or CCTV footage or dashcam footage, all the usual sorts of things that Dorset Police want, or you have any information that they may find useful in connection with these incidents, you're asked to give them a call on either 101, or if you wish to give the information anonymously, you can do this via the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Now, a £1 million project has been launched to restore Dorset's peatlands. Dorset Peat Partnership, which is led by Dorset Wildlife Trust, has been awarded £750,000 grant from DEFRA's Nature for Climate Peatland Grant Scheme, and this has been matched by £250,000 of support from funders and partners to help fund work on 16 sites across Dorset. And the aim of this project is to re-wet and restore 172 hectares of fragmented and damaged peatlands. Dorset's iconic heathlands hold the largest areas of our county's peat in peaty pockets and Valley Mires. Peatlands are England's largest land-based carbon store, yet most of them are degraded and emitting carbon because they are not wet enough to be building up the peat. The grant has been awarded following 18 months of survey work by the partnership organisations and volunteers to gather data on an initial long list of 80 candidate sites across urban and rural Dorset, and then identified 16 sites where the most successful restoration could be achieved. The work will also improve drought and fire resilience by holding more water in the landscapes during the summer and by increasing site capacity for water storage. It will also help to reduce nuisance flooding year round. Dorset Wildlife Trust Conservation Director Imogen Davenport said, "We are delighted that the hard work of the partnership to plan for restoration of some of Dorset's precious peatlands has been recognised by the award of this grant. Our peaty pockets not only act as carbon and water store, so keeping sites wet and dry and holding back the water in flood, but of course they are home to some of our most precious and specialist wildlife. This includes sphagnum moss, which plays a part in forming peat soils, insect-eating plants like sundew, and raft spiders, which sense their prey by feeling for vibrations in the water surface." Now, Dorchester Lions are to hold their popular charity golf day on the 22nd of September at Cane Down Golf Course. The day is all about friendly, competitive fun, raising important funds for local charities in the process. The Lions are proud to nominate the Shire Hall Memory Cafe as the beneficiary of this year's Charity Golf Day. The cafe creates a relaxed environment to provide socialisation and activity sessions for those with memory difficulties who can attend together with their carers so that they can have extra support. Entry for the golf day is £40 per player, playing in teams of 4 men, 4 women or a mixed team. You don't have to be a brilliant golfer. The handicap scoring system ensures everyone has a good chance of doing well. There will also be fun on-course competitions like nearest the pin or nearest the line, and the overall team winners will be the recipients of the majestic Dorchester's Lion Golf Trophy. The entry fee not only includes a full round of golf but also a hot drink on arrival, mid-round refreshments and food for players after they've finished their game. In addition, there will be a raffle and prize giving on the day. Now, if you're interested in that, simply ring or text Andy on 07815 873 246. That's to ring or text Andy on 07815 873 246. Now, major renovation works are to take place at the Garden of Remembrance at Weymouth Crematorium. From September the 18th, the area of the Rose Garden will be surrounded by barriers and there will be no access to the garden until the works are completed. The works will involve safety improvements to the area surface, better access for people using mobility aids, improved drainage around the area, aesthetic redesign of the Rose Garden, developing plant health and the creation of a central butterfly garden. At certain times throughout this period there may be machinery on site, but the workers will do their best to keep the noise level to a minimum. Leaseholders who have a rose in this area will be contacted directly if their memorial is affected by the works. The works are expected to be finished within about 2 weeks. Dorset Council said once confirmed it will announce the reopening date of the Garden of Remembrance. And if anyone has any concerns or would like more information about these works, please email, call or visit the crematorium office staff, where staff there will be pleased to answer any of your questions. And finally, in tonight's headlines, a busy route along Weymouth seafront will be closed overnight for roadworks. Preston Beach Road will be closed from Overcombe to Greenhill for approximately 2,000 metres overnight from 10 p.m. this Wednesday, September the 6th, until 5 a.m. on Thursday, September the 7th. So that's this coming Wednesday night from, what time is it? 10 p.m. From 10 p.m. until Thursday morning at 5 a.m. The closure will allow Case Highways to carry out carriageway preservation work. Drivers are advised that the delays are likely, but of course it's being done overnight, so hopefully that will minimise any disruption. An alternative route will be signposted, and this is Dorchester Road, Littermore Road, Preston Road. Road preservation includes the use of specialist truck which sprays an asphalt liquid onto the road surface to seal micro cracking and prevent water ingress from causing more pronounced damage, leading to potholes. Now, if you want any information on that closure or it affects you in any way, you can call Dorset Highways Traffic Team on 01305 221 020, that's 01305 221 020, or you can email trafficteam@dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. That's trafficteam@dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. There we go, and that's the end of our headlines this evening. Now, the NHS is looking to improve recognition and response to heart attacks. Research has shown, and this is research of members of the public, that nearly half of all adults in England do not feel confident in spotting the signs of a heart attack. Obviously, when people are suffering a heart attack, it's very important to recognise it and get them urgent help. But that this report and study has shown that nearly half of adults in England do not know how to recognise a heart attack. So they have released a film, and in the film Dr. Chris George investigates the public's knowledge of heart attacks and meets Asif and Gemma to hear about symptoms that they have experienced, hoping that sharing it with you may raise awareness of the signs and symptoms of heart attack. So we have that video for you now.
The signs of a heart attack can vary from person to person and don't always feel as severe as you may expect. While the most common symptom is chest pain, many people experience chest tightness accompanied with a feeling of unease. A recent survey has found the public still aren't sure about the symptoms of a heart attack. So let's see if we can clear up confusion about this life-threatening condition.
Do you think you guys could tell me what some of the signs or symptoms might be of a heart attack?
No idea.
Breathlessness? No, not really.
Not really, not me, no.
Chest, jaw, neck and back pain, shortness of breath, feeling lightheaded, anxiety, dizziness and sweating can all be symptoms of a heart attack. I'm off to meet Jem and Asif, who have both experienced heart attacks themselves, and to hear their stories.
I got a pain. It spread all the way across my chest. It went up into my throat, and I got a pain all around my jawline, and then down the back of both my arms. And then I started sweating, and I thought, am I having a heart attack? So I got to the hospital, and they fitted a stent there as well.
And I felt this very, very sudden crushing pain in my chest, a pain I'd never felt before, accompanied with lots of sweating. I had this pain for a good few minutes, and then just put it down to food poisoning. On the fourth day, I decided I need to get into hospital. They carried out an ECG, and when it became clear that I had had a heart attack. Had I picked up 999 at the outset, the near enough third of my heart that is now dead may well have been saved.
Of course, yeah. The symptoms of a heart attack can vary and don't always feel severe, but don't be tempted to dismiss the signs of a heart attack or to wait and see what happens. It's never too early to call 999 and describe your symptoms. To find out more, visit nhs.uk/heart attack.
There we go, so there's some useful information there, and of course one of the things that may surprise some people is those people in the video there. One was quite on the younger side, and they both look reasonably fit and well. And of course heart attack can affect everybody at any age, young or old, male or female, fit and incredibly fit and exercising, and those that are less fit. So if you suffer any of those symptoms, then it's obviously time to get help. Now, if you want to find out more information about signs and symptoms of heart attack, as mentioned there, go to nhs.uk/heart attack. That's nhs.uk/heart attack. Now we come to that time in the programme where it's time to go over to our regular contributor Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV Film Review and Preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This week, The Equalizer 3 releases in cinemas as the third and final film in the film series. The film stars Denzel Washington as Robert McCall, a former government operative. The film revolves around McCall moving to southern Italy to escape from his past, only for him to find out his new friends are under the control of the Sicilian Mafia. Dakota Fanning also stars in the film, directed by Antoine Fuqua, who also directed the first two films, with this new film being filmed on location in southern Italy. The film currently has 70% positive reviews from critics, and it's in cinemas this week as the final film in the franchise. However, a separate TV series starring Queen Latifah as McCall is currently streaming on Sky. This week, Netflix's live-action adaptation of the legendary manga One Piece released on Netflix. The series revolves around Monkey D. Luffy, an enthusiastic teenage pirate with robber-like abilities played by Iñaki Godoy, as he travels the seas of the East Blue, recruiting other crew members to the Straw Hat Pirates, evading the Navy and getting into fights with other pirates. The other members of the Straw Hat Pirates are Makenyu as Roronoa Zoro, a bounty hunter who uses the three-sword style, Emily Rudd as Nami, an enigmatic thief, Jacob Romero Gibson as Usopp, an inventive sniper, and Taz Skylar as Sanji, a woman-loving chef who uses martial arts that focus on fighting with his legs. I've seen all 8 episodes, and as a One Piece fan there's plenty to love, such as various Easter eggs. The stunts were pretty impressive, and the Straw Hat actors each gave an impressive performance when it calls for it, such as Skylar's take on Sanji. I really liked that. I thought that was really inventive, as well as Godoy playing a more mature, but adding the air of maturity to Luffy. However, I do criticise the show's adaptation pace, as well as the general cringy performances from various actors. I give the show 3.5 stars out of 5, and is available to stream now on Netflix. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week, where I will preview The Nun 2, the latest film in the Conjuring universe, as well as reviewing the home video release of Fast X, the 10th Fast and Furious film. Now back to Gary in the studio.
There we go, thank you very much, Andrew. And I do actually have the trailer for The Nun 2 that Andrew mentioned there. He's going to give you his full opinion next week after it's been released. It's released on the 8th, so we're going to see it. It's the latest in the Nun series in the Conjuring universe. The New Line Cinema brings you the horror thriller The Nun 2, the next chapter in the story of The Nun, the highest grossing entry in the juggernaut £2 billion The Conjuring universe. Set in 1956 France, a priest is murdered and evil is spreading. The sequel to the worldwide smash hit follows Sister Irene as she once again comes face to face with Valak, the demon nun. Now, a little bit scary. The trailer's not too bad, but it is released on the 8th of September. It's from Warner Brothers, and here it is, The Nun 2, coming up shortly. Here we go.
There's something wrong with the school. Something doesn't feel right.
Sophie, what happened?
I think there's something here that's not meant to be.
What did you see?
I saw a nun. What did she do? She's standing there.
This thing, it's come back for me.
This demon was once an angel. Rejected by God. Stripped of power.
It wants that power back. It's okay to be scared. I'm scared too.
You send that thing back to hell.
we go. That's The Nun 2 in cinemas from the 8th September this coming week. And as I say, Andrew will review it next week in more detail. It's that time in the programme where we go over to the Met Office for the weekend national weather forecast. And this week we are joined by Jonathan Vautry.
Hello there, it's what we've been waiting for, but finally after 2 months we've got a weekend where high pressure is going to be in charge. It's been building its way in from the Atlantic and it's going to be sticking with the vast majority of us throughout Saturday and Sunday. The exception to that is the very far north of Scotland with this trailing frontal feature. Those isobars squeezing together a touch more as well will make it feel a bit different compared to elsewhere in the UK, but we'll get more details on Sunday later on. Even though into the start of Saturday there has been quite a north-south contrast in conditions, holding on to the clear spells across parts of north-east Scotland, we dropped down to 0.8 degrees Celsius at Braemar, quite a chilly start. But central areas of London, underneath the more extensive cloud across parts of England and Wales, not dropping below 17 degrees Celsius. The cloud that has been around is slowly breaking its way up, and increasingly into the afternoon more of us will see those sunny spells developing. Sunshine could still be hazy at times as the cloud comes and goes, but a relatively fine afternoon for many of us. Can't rule out the odd light shower for parts of England and Wales, but they'll be fairly fleeting. Most of us won't see one and will stay largely dry. Temperatures also a notch up compared to recent days, climbing towards highs of 24, 25 degrees Celsius across parts of England and Wales, but even into parts of central Scotland, Northern Ireland, seeing 21 to 22 degrees Celsius, so really rather pleasantly warm. Into this evening as well, a relatively fine end to the day. The cloud melting away a touch, allowing some clear intervals to develop. Into the overnight period, though, the mist and fog will be returning, perhaps most extensively for central areas of and eastern areas of England, but we can't really rule out patches elsewhere across parts of western Wales into northwest England and Northern Ireland as well. It is, though, going to be the far north of Scotland where we start to see that frontal feature becoming a bit more present. Outbreaks of heavy rain for parts of the Isle of Lewis and towards Orkney and Shetland throughout the early hours of Sunday morning. It will also be turning quite windy around coastal areas in particular. A quite noticeably warmer night to come for northern areas of Scotland underneath all that cloud and the breeze. Compared to the 0.8 degrees that we had on Saturday morning, some areas could be holding up around 13, 14 degrees, perhaps 15 degrees Celsius across those northern coasts of Moray and Aberdeenshire. Elsewhere, it will also be a relatively mild night once again. Most towns and cities holding up around 13, 12 degrees Celsius. Some rural spots may still drop down into single figures. Once the early mist and fog does clear its way off across Northern Ireland, Wales and England, should be another relatively fine day. A good amount of sunshine coming through and will again feel pleasantly warm in there as well. Perhaps a touch more wispy cloud for parts of Northern England, Southern Scotland into Northern Ireland as well. So again, skies could be milky at times, the sunshine slightly hazy, but it's going to be northwest Scotland that holds on to the thickest and most persistent cloud. Whilst the rain will be heavy at first, it will tend to ease off as we head towards lunchtime, so generally turning lighter and patchier, but still for the western northern Isles down into the Highlands, a relatively damp day here and quite windy as well. Gale force winds across parts of coastal areas, those gusts of 35, 38 miles an hour, really making it feel noticeably cooler and very different compared to elsewhere in the UK, where those winds are going to be much lighter, pretty much flat light across the board. And with those light winds and the sunshine, temperatures responding once again, climbing more towards 26 degrees Celsius, particularly across eastern areas of England, but widely many of us reaching the mid-20s. Just down a touch across Northern Ireland, central Scotland, 21, 20 Celsius, but eastern areas of Scotland where you're sheltered from that breeze and see a little bit more sunshine, still a very pleasant, warm 23 degrees Celsius. Into the evening as well, many of us getting off with a relatively nice end to the weekend. Cloud melting away, some late sunshine as well, the rain just persisting across the far north there as well. As we head into the new working week, high pressure is going to be staying with us for the vast majority of us. Again, the best and most prolonged amounts of sunshine will be further towards the south of the UK. The cloud just coming and going, a touch more still across the far north and stretching down into central Scotland, parts of Northern Ireland as well. Temperatures, though, will be continuing to climb widely into the mid-20s, if not the high 20s by the time we reach Tuesday and Wednesday. 29 degrees Celsius, certainly possible. We may also climb towards 30 degrees Celsius in a few spots as well. And that's a temperature we haven't reached since the very start of July. So we might be into meteorological autumn, but it's giving us something a bit more summery that many of us have been missing. We'll keep you up to date, of course, on all the latest across our social media channels, so do follow us there for all regular updates and information, and we'll be back here with your next broadcast very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much there, Jonathan, and looks like summer has finally hit us, as the summer has technically finished. The weather's turned to summer, so let's see what we've got this week. And there you can see down on the south coast, it looks like we're going to be quite sunny, certainly towards most of this week. Towards the end we may have a thundery shower or two, but temperatures are going to be in the mid-20s by the looks of it, and possibly higher. I find that this graphic that we use always tends to have the temperatures a little lower than what the national forecast is suggesting, but it looks like we're going to be pleasantly warm and possibly hot this week, so a good week to be off. Not good if you're been off on school holidays, because of course all the children and all the teachers go back to school on Monday, but I think this commonly happens, doesn't it, where we get a bad few weeks over the summer holiday, and then when the children go back to school, then the weather improves. Right, turning to our What's On, and what have we got for you? Well, we've got Weymouth Pavilion, 7th of September, Someone Like You, the Adele Songbook. 8th of September, Ben Portsmouth, This Is Elvis. 9th of September, The Jolly Boys in Weymouth. I think that sounds a bit dodgy. It sounds a bit dodgy, but actually what it is, it's an informal evening of chat and stories from former cast members of Only Fools and Horses. It's not the main characters, it is that sort of second line characters like Billy Pearce. They are there. They're going to answer questions and tell you some stories of Only Fools and Horses, and the chance to meet them and get autographs and have a chat one-to-one over the interval. 10th of September, The Drifters. 21st of September, Prince The Ultimate Experience. 22nd of September, That'll Be the Day Autumn Tour. And 23rd of September, The Johnny Cash Road Show. Now, for information on all those shows and many, many more, that's just a sample at Weymouth Pavilion, go online to their website, weymouthpavilion.com. Where you can see the shows and book tickets, or if you'd rather ring up to book your tickets, the box office is 01305 783 225. Now, coming up at the Noath Fort, 10th of September, the artillery display team will be showing you the guns and dressing up in their uniforms and showing you how the muskets and the big guns at the fort work. 24th of September is the Pause for Fort dog show. 1st of October, Family Science Festival. 7th and 8th of October, I think that ties up with half term, is the Pirate Weekend. 8th of October again is artillery display. Information on that and other activities on at the Noath Fort on their website, www.noathfort.org.uk. Now, a new season of the Weymouth Lunchtime Chamber Concerts is about to get underway, and the first one is this Wednesday, the 6th of September at 1 p.m, and it features a rising star of piano who will perform at the first concert. Saikwan Lai, I think that's how you say the name, will make her Weymouth Lunchtime Chamber Concert debut in a programme of music by Mozart, Rachmaninoff, Liszt and some Chinese folk music in an arrangement for solo piano. You can buy tickets online on the Ticket Source website. So if you go along to www.ticketsource.co.uk and then you put after it /Weymouth-lunchtime-concerts. So that's www.ticketsource.co.uk/Weymouth-lunchtime-concerts. And there will be refreshments available from midday before the concert in St Mary's Church there. So that's something on Wednesday this week. Now there'll be a concert of classical favourites held at St Paul's Church on Sunday, September the 10th. That's next Sunday at 11:30 a.m. This will also be followed by a barbecue. Gregory Stewart, who's a professional tenor, will perform songs from Les Miserables, Carousel and West Side Story. Tickets are £12 and include wine, tea, coffee and snacks. Tickets are available from St Paul's Church, Weymouth. The next concert at All Saints Church in Wyke is also next Sunday, the 10th of September, but that's 7:30 in the evening, and that is an organ recital with Duncan Honeybourne, and this concludes the short series of summer concerts at All Saints Church featuring the church's 1884 Henry Jones organ. So there we go. I think the programme will be published on the church website. If you want to book tickets for that concert, pop along to www.parishofwykeregis.org.uk/events. That's www.parishofwykeregis.org.uk/events. Entry is £5. There will be a cash bar, and there will also be a retiring collection in aid of All Saints Church Roof Appeal. Staying with All Saints Church and the parish of Wyke Regis, services this week are a cafe church service tomorrow, 9:30 All Saints Church, and a communion service at 11 o'clock at St Edmund's Church, Lane House. Now, other programmes from Wyke Regis TV this week. We have the September edition of A Year Gardening with Clive Gray, going out at 4 p.m. tomorrow. That's Sunday 4 p.m. and that will be repeated Friday at 7 p.m. So that's A Year Gardening with Clive Gray's September edition, going out tomorrow at 4, repeated on Friday at 7 p.m. And of course our popular weekly Saturday evening quiz programme is on tonight at 7:30. That's welcome for everyone to join us. It's for the community, it's for the family, it's community and family friendly. It's free as well. Not often you get things free these days, but that will be on this channel at 7:30. The stream will go up about 7:20 and the quiz will start promptly at 7:30. Well, that brings us to the end of another programme. It looks like we're going to have a lovely weekend and a good week ahead. Maybe tomorrow you will be off to the second day of the Dorchester show, or maybe you'll be looking to book yourselves on one of those shows at the Pavilion, or one of those concerts, the midweek lunchtime concerts, or the concert at St Paul's or All Saints Church next Sunday. Lots going on for you. Of course, if you want to tell us about any other events, any concerts, any fundraising events, or anything going on, or any local news, you can drop us a line at any time at news@wykeregis.tv. That's news@wykeregis.tv, and we'll be very pleased to hear from you. So that's it. We've come to the end of the programme. Thank you very much for joining me again this week. I will be back with you 6 o'clock next Saturday. Have a nice weekend and a good week ahead, and I look forward to being with you next week. Good night.